There we go.
Good evening, everyone. The January 2022 Brookhaven Borough Council meeting will now be called to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
With
liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the memorials.
I was going to say, you can have a seat and I'll read them.
Or that.
Okay. Please have a seat. Good evening, the deceased residents for the month of December 2021. Charlotte Connor, Richard Wood, Patricia Demutis, Robert Toomey, Carol Grogan,
Who's down the street? Grogan, I know him.
Mary McBride,
Is that Grogan that they used to own the?
Shush.
George Unkst Jr. I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly.
Wow.
And Lucy Gio Cristoforo, the mother of Steve G. and Cristoforo, our IT and server network manager.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Will, would you give us a roll call, please?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, let me get my glasses on. Mr. Heller,
Present.
Mrs. Fuchs,
Here.
Mrs. Heller,
Present.
Mayor Leslie,
Present.
Mr. Vasquez,
Here.
Ms. Sawicki,
Here.
Mr. Pappas,
Here.
Mr. Gilroy,
Present.
Mr. Wills,
Here.
Mr. Catania,
Here.
Mr. Wilwert's here, Mrs. Boyles, is she on?
Mrs. Boyle is on, yes.
Okay, Chief Montella,
Here.
Chief Vice,
Here.
roll call complete.
Good evening, Ms. Ford. Would you give us the Coburn Elementary report, please?
Absolutely. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Ms.
New Year
Ford.
to you.
Yes. We had a really terrific month of December, even though we're living in this crazy COVID world still. We managed to keep spirits high with our kids throughout December. We did a lot of fun activities, many of which were virtual. However, just a lot of Spirit Month. We did sing-alongs. We kept up with all of our traditions. We did actually have our we did manage to get our winter chorus and band concert in person, which was really fantastic for our kids. And we did a toy drive, collected a lot of brand new wrap toys that were all donated to Nemours AI DuPont Hospital for Children. I'd like to thank the Brookhaven Police Department for visiting throughout the week of the 20th, and then also, of course, for being there on December 17th as well. It was just wonderful having everyone in. The kids really enjoyed the read alouds and the races. If you looked at our Twitter account, you saw a few races. Some second graders are pretty quick there, and lots of read alouds happening. So it was a lot of fun to have everyone in. Also, thank you very much to Borough Council for your generous joint donations this Christmas, once again, to our families. It is just greatly appreciated. And of course, the news is that there's an important change, as many of you may already be aware of, an important change to the Pendelco health plan in response to, of course, the extraordinary increasing cases across the county. As of tomorrow, the district now has masks are now mandated for students, staff, and of course, visitors that are visiting the school. So that starts tomorrow. We are continuing and have continued with all of the other mitigation efforts since the beginning of the year. Continued physical distancing, 3 feet, 6 feet at lunches, continued with all of our, hand sanitizing stations, hand washing routines, all that. all those routines with our kids. And of course, cleaning and disinfecting the schools is always a top priority, whether or not it's COVID. And, you know, I like to brag that at Coburn, we just probably have an amazing staff there. Ms. Hazinski does a fine job keeping our school in tip-top shape. And those of you that know her know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so, you know, it's the reduced, we're continuing to follow the CDC guidelines. So some of the quarantine times are reduced at this point, which is helpful in getting some of our kids back. But, you know, the new masking requirement that starts tomorrow will certainly help too, to keep more of our kids in school at this point. But that's about it. And if anybody has any questions, otherwise.
I have a brief question.
Sure.
Approximately how many children in Coburn have COVID, if you can disclose?
I knew you were going to ask that, so I had the dashboard pulled up. And just so everyone knows too, and I'm glad you asked that question, Mr. Heller, President Heller, because you can, I have the dashboard pulled up right here. Right now, currently, Coburn has 14 active cases and 19 students in quarantine district-wide. And I'm taking this right from our dashboard, which is on the district website. If you just go to PDSD website, COVID info, and then on the left, you'll see the dashboard. It gets updated. This was updated as of today. There are 107 total cases across the district and 139 students in quarantine currently in the district. And those numbers are up. Our numbers in particular at Coburn are certainly increased quite a bit throughout. You know, we kept our numbers pretty low throughout last year and even into this year until just recently. And now, like everywhere else, this crazy new variant is just spreading like wildfire. Anyway, but there's a lot of great information on the district website. All of the new updates to the health plan are all there, and it's all in one area, very easy to get to. And you know, you can read through the documents if you like. The biggest, like I said, change is the masking change, which starts as of tomorrow, which will be required masking moving forward until further notice.
Thank you, Ms. Ford.
You're welcome.
Does anyone else have any questions for Principal Ford?
All right, thanks. See you guys in February.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. Have a good evening.
Yep. All right, you too. Thanks.
Is there anyone for a public discussion? If so, unmute yourself, state your name and address, please. Going once, going twice. The first public discussion session is closed. Mr. Wills, will you give us the solicitor's report, sir?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President, and good evening and Happy New Year to everyone. Copy of the solicitor's report is on file with the Borough Secretary's office in the event any members of the public would like to review it. Couple things. Over the last month, I've made a concerted effort to collect from developers outstanding monies owed to the borough for professional review fees associated with various land development projects throughout the borough. The fees collected from developers and paid to the borough include the following: $6,328.50 was paid by Brookhaven Storage for outstanding fees. The sum of $2,140.33 was paid by Popeye's Land Development, again for outstanding fees. And the sum of $3,458.75 was paid by Pando Property Group, again for outstanding professional fees owed to the borough. Couple of other items I would bring to the council and the public's attention. Again, concerns the property at 5,000 Edgemont Avenue. Again, this is basically the Lowe's Shopping Center complex. I'm pleased to report at the end of December, Judge Dozer of the Delaware County Court of Common Pleas did in fact sign an order that will result in a substantial increase to the assessed value of this property. This is a property that was initially assessed at approximately $18 million. The property, as a result of an appeal, and this was an appeal filed by the Pendelco School District, but that property now has a new assessed value of $26 million. Again, this will in fact result in a significant increase to the borough's coffers beginning this year. So again, that is certainly good news. Next item on my agenda concerns a resolution that is before council for their consideration. Basically, it is a resolution that appoints certain individuals from the borough to the borough's tax collection committee representatives. And again, by way of some background, back in 2008, the Pennsylvania General Assembly had enacted Act 32, which approved the consolidation of local earned income taxes in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. This basically means that the Commonwealth's many political subdivisions have now a countywide EIT collection system that's undertaken by a tax collector who is appointed and overseen by a tax collection committee comprised of various delegates throughout the municipalities that comprise Delaware County. And therefore, we are obligated under the law to provide certain representatives to this tax collection committee in case there are issues that need to be decided. Right now, the resolution that I have before Borough Council basically appoints, number one, we'd have Janice Sawicki as our delegate. The first alternative would be Delilah McDade, and the second alternative voting delegate would be John J. Wilwert Jr. That is a copy of a resolution I had provided to council last week. And so if it is the pleasure of Borough Council, a motion would be in order at this time to adopt said resolution, selecting those particular candidates as delegates to the borough's tax collection committee representatives.
I'll entertain a motion, council.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any questions? Motion carries.
The resolution is 2022-01001.
All right, and then briefly, I will touch base with Borough Council and on the public with regard to a couple of emails I actually sent out over the weekend. One concerns the American Rescue COVID-19 Relief Fund that the borough received in 2021 and an additional relief funds that the borough will be receiving sometime on or about May of 2022. Very recently, just last week, the U.S. Treasury Department issued new rules that will now permit local municipalities to have a lot greater flexibility in how those COVID-19 American relief funds are spent. The guidelines that were initially issued last May of 2021 were subject to a lot of criticism by the various municipalities and counties as being too rigid. Based on hearing some of those certainly complaints, the U.S. Treasury Department and the Biden administration agreed to basically relax those particular rules so that municipalities no longer actually have to prove that they lost revenue during the pandemic to spend those funds. And basically those funds can now be spent on a lot of different construction projects, road work, and also to increase the workforce here in Brookhaven Borough. And certainly we did that late last year with the additional officers, full-time police officers being hired. So certainly those guidelines will provide, if the borough sees fit, to provide compensation and benefits to those additional police officers that were hired late last year. So it really does open up for the borough a lot of additional potentials for expending those COVID relief funds. Again, that is certainly positive news. And then finally, again, I would bring the Borough Council's attention, as well as the public, recent litigation that has commenced in the Delaware County Court of Common Pleas as of last week, whereby 7 municipalities in Delaware County, including one of those municipalities being next door in Aston Township, they're one of the 7 plaintiffs, had filed suit in the Delaware County Court against the County of Delaware, seeking a court injunction to prevent the Delaware County Health Department from taking over various municipal health inspections. There is a long history, obviously, of the local Delaware County municipalities having exclusive jurisdiction over those health inspections because we did not have a countywide health department. The countywide health department, as Borough Council is aware, commenced sometime late last year as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. But there is serious concern among those 7 municipalities and among many other municipalities in Delaware County as to whether the county has the appropriate staffing and training to provide those municipal health-related inspections. And so this case is before the court. I'll certainly keep council apprised and aware as these proceedings continue. It would be my recommendation again that the borough continue to maintain exclusive in-house health-related inspections until we hear differently from the court. And with that, Mr. President, I can report general progress.
Thank you, sir. Chief
Jay,
Weiss.
Jay, can I intervene real quick? I did have a question for you, Jay, regarding
Surely.
that. So if they perform the inspections, are they going to be the ones billing the businesses, or is that going to go through our office and we're going to be responsible for billing the
It would
business?
likely direct bill the businesses. It would make no
Yeah.
sense to bill it.
Okay,
And the issue is, again, that, for many municipalities, they have budgeted, salaries and stipends. And for some of the larger municipalities, benefits for these health-related inspectors. And so if the borough were to strike that, the county were to take that away, and again, there's a source, obviously, of revenue to pay for those inspections, because the inspections, again, there are permitting fees and inspection fees that go along with those health-related inspections, that if the municipalities lose that revenue, that may be of a significant detriment to those municipalities. So there are a number of issues that still, I believe, have to be worked out between the county and the various municipalities as they move forward on this.
We would be in that position with one employee, and let me add, I've received no communication from the County Board of Health regarding any of this. Until we saw the lawsuit in the paper, we were completely unaware that they were going to take over local food grade, commercial food grade inspections. So, an email would have been nice from the county, but
I think that
broken government.
Yeah, I think that had been one of the issues, is that perhaps there could have been better communication facilitated between the county and the 49 municipalities that, of course, comprise Delaware.
Well, communication at all would have been good, because we received none, just as we received none with the pandemic from the county, and, absolutely nothing. You're left on your own. One email, one call would have been nice. Like you said, you have individuals all over Delaware County that rely on those positions for salary or benefits or both. So I think it's pretty unprofessional to leave them hanging like that. Anyone else have any questions on that? All right, Chief Weiss, sir.
Good evening and
Chief.
happy New Year to everybody. It's a shame we have to meet by Zoom again, but here we are.
I love it.
Yeah, I know you do. For the month of December, the Brookhaven Borough Police Department initiated or were assigned 849 CAT assignments through Delcom. It was a very busy month for us, obviously with 849 assignments. Just to summarize some of the calls, we had 11 thefts, 1 assault, 4 vandalism or criminal mischief calls, 4 fraud, 3 DUI, 3 disorderly conduct, 6 animal complaints, 3 solicitor complaints, 36 suspicious conditions, 4 harassment, 33 domestic disturbances, 75 medical assists, 1 mental health response, 37 assist other departments, 14 alarms, 21 vehicle crashes, and 26 hazardous conditions or assist motor vehicle calls. We had 33 adult arrests for the month, 105 citations were issued, 17 parking citations were issued, and 77 warnings. As we noted earlier in the meeting, I want to congratulate Officer Kelso and Eastman on being sworn in as full-time officers with our department. They are a huge asset to our department, and having them full-time is very good for all of us and for the borough. Couple other things, we are now up and running with our accreditation process. I can tell you that Power DMS, which is our policy management system, is in place. And I've already enacted several policies which are now in compliance with our PLEAC standard that we are hoping to attain in the near future. I would also mention that currently I have 3 open disorderly house ordinance investigations. And I can tell you that I'm very happy with the results thus far. And I'm hoping in the very near future to be able to report that we've been able to resolve all 3 of them to the benefit of not only the borough, but the residents in those areas as well. So I'm very, very pleased with where that's heading, and I'm staying on top of that. I spoke to one of the parties today, as a matter of fact. Obviously in December, we began experiencing a spike in COVID throughout our county. As a result, all of our officers, we are now all back in masks, whether we're inside or outside of the building. We're continuing all of our mitigation efforts, having the cars sprayed down, the building cleaned often, and we're doing everything we can. And obviously, like everyone else, we're hoping to experience a decrease very soon in these positive cases. As far as training for the month, every one of us received recertification training for TASER, which is a requirement. So we are all recertified there. And Officer Wetton attended his monthly SWAT training. As far as community engagements, our officers and I attended many events during the month of December. Just to name a few, we assisted with the Delco Cruisers, we attended the senior lunch, our tree lighting. We also attended a holiday gift drive-by for the late Chief Mahoney from the Park Police. We were honored to be able to be a part of that event. We also, unfortunately, attended the funeral of Sergeant Redding from Haverford Township Police Department, who passed away from COVID-related issues. And I would also let you know that we did also have an officer sent to Haverford to assist them with coverage of their town during the time when they were grieving their obviously untimely loss. And I would just say that our thoughts and prayers go out to Sergeant Redding's family as well as his fellow officers. Detective Havoc and I met with the school administrators at the Christian Academy in December. It was a very productive meeting, and I vowed our support to the school in any way possible. We're very fortunate to have incredible leaders both at the Christian Academy and Coburn Elementary School. Both schools welcome our officers into their buildings at any time, and we're grateful for that. As you heard Ms. Ford speak earlier, we did have quite a bit of engagement with the kids in the month of December. It was great not only for the children but also for our officers. So we're really grateful for that partnership. And the last thing I have is we are still in the process of tabulating and handing out all of our Hope for Haley merchandise that was ordered. We received an overwhelming support for our efforts. So I will be able to report next month just how great we were able to do. And we look forward to being able to present them with our earnings for their great charity. So just ask everybody to follow us on Facebook. Obviously, I'm on there a lot, posting things, trying to keep people up to date. And for now, that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Anyone have questions for Chief Ice? Anyone in the public, officials? All right, Chief Montello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. President, Council. Happy New Year. Brookhaven Fire Company's monthly report for December 2021, which will include our yearly totals. We had 3 fire incidents for the month, 34 for the year in the borough, 27 non-fire, 256 for the year. Mutual aid, 33, 356 for the year. 5 training sessions, 53 for the year. 68 for the month, 699 fire calls for the year. Our loss on structure for the month was 145,000 on structure, 95,000 on contents, for a total of 240,000. We had $560,000 of property endangered. Our yearly loss on structure was 790,000. Our yearly loss on contents was 655,000, for a total of $1,445,000 in loss. Our property endangered for the year was $4,020,000. We had no firefighter or civilian injuries and 1 firefighter injury for the year. Our manpower total was 68 calls, average of 15 firefighters. We were in service for 752 hours for the month. For the year, we were in service for 8,135 hours. 5 training sessions for the month, average of 25 firefighters, total of 275 hours for the month in training. For the year, we logged 2,486 hours of training. The following incidents we had in Brookhaven Borough, we had 2 building fires, one on Chandler Drive, which was a fire on the 2nd and 3rd floor. The fire company, the fire was well advanced when we arrived on location. The fire company had a tremendous stop on this fire. No injuries to the family at this household. And the fire marshal can give a report on that, but the guys did a great job. It was a great stop on that fire. We were able to save the house. 5200 Hilltop Drive, B12, we had a electrical fire in the wall. We had 6 accidents in the borough with injuries, 1 residential rescue on Ruth Road with a subject trapped in the bathtub, and a water leak that caused a collapse on the 1st floor. Assisted Chester City on a 2nd alarm building fire on Clover Lane. Assisted Aston Township on a building fire on Drayton Road. Assisted Darby Fire Company, we covered while they operated on a 2-alarm working fire. And we assisted Garden City on a building fire as well. Our monthly training was ground ladders, SCBA operations. We went to the flashover training simulator at the training center. We took the whole crew up and did a training session up there in the flashover simulator, and we did hydrant operations. And you can see the fire company is training at the old TD Bank. We'll have that for a little bit of time to do some SCBA training there as well, search and rescue. We submitted our 2021 AFG for new hose, new 5-inch hose and new 2.5-inch hose to the federal government. And our ambulance report for December 2021, 251 ambulance calls for the month, 169 people transported to hospital, 97 were local alarms, 154 mutual aid, 165 were dispatched ALS emergencies, 86 BLS emergencies. The ambulance finished up at 2,336. Both totals for the fire and the ambulance was the highest the fire companies ever ran as far as fire and emergency calls. Extremely busy year, both fire and ambulance and fires in general for the fire company. Mr. President, I have an updated tally for you because we're asking. As of Sunday, 1/2/22 up till currently tonight, we had 84 ambulance calls just in that short period of time, and 15 of them were COVID related. So based on that percentage, that's what, like 5.6% of the calls were COVID related.
Oof.
So it's actually a little better from, I just pulled the stat from the report I gave you. So it does seem to be coming down slightly, ever so slightly. But
Thank you, sir.
that's current numbers for you. So that concludes my report.
All righty, Madam Mayor.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. I just want to commend the fire department, the ambulance, and our police department for the hard work and dedication that they've had over this past year. And I hope this year coming up, everybody stays safe and well. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Catania.
Thank you, Mr. President. My written report is on file. There's two things on the agenda. The first one is a Brookhaven Glen development to designate the street name as Glenbrook.
Can I jump in there real quick? And,
Sure.
yes, I see you tried to speak fast to get by me. It doesn't work. Can we move that again? Or no? We had a list of names we were to debate, and council kind of got lost on it, and we did not discuss it.
So we'll push it off till next month. That's fine.
That will work. We will have an answer for you by then.
Okay, got it. All right, then the other thing I have is the 2022 street resurfacing program. Each year we're allocated money from the county as part of liquid fuels tax. So this is a resolution to make application to the county for $8,910 as our portion of the county liquid fuel tax.
All righty, I'll entertain a motion. Anyone?
So moved.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any questions? Motion carries.
This was a resolution, correct?
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Okay, that's 2022-002.
All right, the only other thing I have is just to report that the Edgemont Avenue Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Project, mobile dredging video pipe has completed that work. So, and that's it. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. I have a few items. I need a motion to approve the December 6, 2021 council meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
questions? I need a motion to approve the January 3rd, 2022 council reorganization meeting minutes.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. I have to read the council committee assignments. There will be no changes. So here we are. Yours truly, Council President Heller, Council President, Co-Chair Veterans Committee, Chair Board of Health, Member Grant Committee, Chair Building Committee, Chair Police. That's wrong. I'm not Chair Police Committee. I'm not even a member. Member
Yeah.
Public Works Committee,
What's wrong?
Member Long-Term and Comprehensive Planning Committee. That is correct. Mr. Vasquez, Vice President of Council, Member Finance and Insurance Committee, Co-Chair Public Works Committee, Co-Liaison to the Zoning Hearing Board, Co-Chair Veterans Committee. Councilwoman Fuchs, President Pro Tem, Chair Ordinance Committee, Co-Chair Recreation Board, Member Finance and Admin, Member Long-Term and Comprehensive Plan Committee, Member Condo Association. Mrs. Fuchs, is that accurate? Are you a member of the Condo Association?
I am.
I did not know that. You learn
Yep.
something new every day. Liaison to the School Board, Grant Committee Member, Chair Business Revitalization Committee, Co-Chair Parade Committee, Chair Recycling Committee. Councilwoman Sawicki, Chair Finance and Insurance, Chair Arbor Shade Tree Committee, Member Long Range and Comprehensive Plan Committee, Member Fire Committee, and Chair of the Grant Committee. Councilwoman Heller, Chair Police Committee, Chair Fire Committee, Member Business Revitalization Committee, Member Personnel Committee, Chair Emergency Management Committee, Co-Chair Holiday Parade Committee, Co-Chair Recreation Board, Co-Chair Technology and Communications Committee. I'm all right. Mr. Pappas, Liaison to the Planning Commission, Liaison to Civil Service Commission, Member Condo Association, Member Personnel Committee, Member Public Works Committee, Member Police Committee, Co-Liaison to the Zoning Hearing Board, Chair Workplace Safety Committee. Mr. Gilroy, Chair Historical Committee, Co-Chair Veterans Committee, Member Police Committee, Co-Chair Technology and Communications Committee. Let's see, Mayor Leslie. I don't think, Mr. Wills, we don't have to really read the mayor's assignments per se, right?
No, that's strictly up to the council president.
Yeah, okay, I mean, because it's their advisory roles. We all know she's the supervisor to the police department, so, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's that. That is all I have. Miss Sawicki. Oh, wait, we have, I'm sorry, I have to announce that we were awarded a DCNR grant in the amount of $116,000. If you recall, several months ago, we were declined a grant application
Mhm.
for roughly the same amount. The purpose of the grant applications was to build a multi-purpose sporting facility at Sampson Park. We were declined the first grant. For whatever reason, we gave ourselves no chance with this grant. So we sort of pulled the match out of the 2022 budget. But lo and behold, we were awarded the grant 2 weeks ago in the amount of $116,000. So there will be some debate and discussion among council and with one of the sports leagues as to where that project goes, where that facility is built. That will be discussed actually in an executive session, which will be held immediately following tonight's meeting. We have a couple of other topics to discuss, a personnel matter, as well as, somebody help me out. What was the other topic for tonight? Anybody?
I have no idea.
Anybody?
There's one police personnel matter.
I thought there was something else. Oh, okay, never mind. Legal matter, actually. That's what it was. And I want to assign Mr. Gilroy, Mrs. Fuchs, and Mrs. Heller the task of finding us a smart board for use in the council room. So please do that at your leisure. We'd like to get that done as swiftly as possible. That's all I have. Ms. Sawicki.
Thank you. Bills for January. General fund, $68,200.55. We have sewer fund, $22,184.40 for total bills for January, $90,384.95. So I will make a motion so we can approve the bills, and they'll be going out this week.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or any questions? Motion carries.
Okay, the last thing I have is that I do, in my hand, I have the Delcor bill, which will be going out in the next couple weeks. Just for those who would like to know, it is $886,861. And please remember, when Aqua takes over Delcor, I'm not even going to tell you what the rates are going to be. I'm just warning people. Okay, but this check will go out in the next 2 weeks because we do have the money. It's from last year's real estate taxes when you're the part for a sewer. So, but the bill for that you're getting in the next 2 months, we have to collect 1.1 million for 2023's Delcor bill. So that's a point of information. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mrs. Fuchs.
Thank you. I wanted to let everyone know that our new website will finally be turned over to us by the end of the week. Mimi and I have been moving things over from our existing site to the new site. And we hopefully will be meeting this Thursday to look at the final product. And I do invite Sherry and Mike to join us since they are both on the committee that
Tech.
yes, the tech committee. So if you two don't have anything to do Thursday night, we would love to have you. We just want to show you what this new website looks like. It's very different than what we currently have. We've been working really hard on it, and I think everyone's really going to enjoy the final product. The ordinance committee, as of today, will not meet this month unless there is something for us to discuss. So if you would like us to talk about anything, please let me know and I will convene the group. And that's all my report. Thank you.
Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good evening. For zoning, I do have one resolution to read because one of our members' time with the board has lapsed, so he wished to continue this term for another 3 years. So I shall read it so. A resolution for the Borough of Brookhaven, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, appointing a qualified resident to fill a vacancy on the zoning hearing board. Whereas there presently exists a vacancy in the membership of the zoning hearing board as a result of an expiration of the term of the office of board member William Haas. And whereas Article 9, Section 903 of Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code authorizes the Borough Council to fill all vacancies in the membership of the zoning hearing board by appointing a qualified resident of the municipality by resolution. And whereas the Borough Council has determined that William Haas remains a qualified candidate for the position and has expressed interest to be reappointed as a board member for an additional 3-year term of office. And now therefore, be it resolved that Brookhaven Borough Council hereby reappoints William Haas to fill the existing vacancy on the Brookhaven Borough Zoning Hearing Board with the term of office to expire on December 31st, 2024. Resolved this day, this 10th day of January, 2022.
Who wants the motion?
I'll take it.
Who wants the second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any questions? Motion carries. Welcome, Haas.
Welcome
I should
back.
say.
Yes. That's all I have for zoning at the moment. For Public Works, just a quick report. For the month of December, we had one sewer backup on 2 Kirk Lane. The issue was on the homeowner. The 2021 leaf collection came to an end with 32 loads of leaves that were picked up for a total of 463 yards of leaves. Due to the late fall of the leaves this season, we worked a little bit later than usual, and hopefully everything worked out for the public with us being a little accommodating in that way. And just a quick reminder, the Christmas tree collection is still going on. If you haven't got your tree out yet, just bring it out to the curb. I believe that ends on the 28th of this month. So no need to call the office or anything. Public Works is going around checking the whole borough for these trees. If you have it, just leave it by the curb and we'll pick it up. And that's all I have. Oh, I do have one thing. For December, PA1 calls were 33 tickets for that month of December. Our year-to-date total for the PA1 call was 478 tickets. And that's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you.
And take your decorations off the tree before putting it out to the curb, please.
And
Yeah,
the light.
that's appreciated.
I'm gonna leave my garland on there for the boys, but other than that.
Mr. President, the resolution that Mr. Vasquez just read is 2022-003.
Thank you for that information, sir. Mr. Pappas, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do not have a report for the month of December, but I do want to wish everybody a happy new year and obviously a healthy 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mrs. Heller.
Just that we had a police committee meeting last week. I wanted to thank the fire department for their heroic efforts for the December 18th Chandler house fire, as well as thank God the Hilltop was just an electrical fire, but I want to thank the fire department for their efforts as always. And then just to please keep the Philadelphia Fairmont fire victims, as well as the New York City Bronx fire victims in our thoughts and prayers, and make this a reminder that it's the beginning of the new year. So let's check our smoke detectors. Let's make sure that we don't have any of our means of exits blocked. Make sure we know 2 means of exits when we are in any facility. So just remember to check all of our fire detection protections. So that's it.
Thank you, Mrs. Heller. Mr. Gilroy, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have one thing announced tonight for the meeting for Circle Committee, February 16th, 7 p.m. in the community room. We'll do it. And that's all I have there. Just the one meeting there.
Thank you, sir. Let me
Sir.
remind council that February 16th is far out, but for the foreseeable future, I would conduct as many of the committee meetings over Zoom as possible. So
Yes, sir.
with the extraordinary amount of local cases, or cases everywhere, I should say. Mr. Leslie, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Happy New Year. Just want to reiterate what Mrs. Heller just said, this fire prevention, the space heaters. Be careful with those. The winter months are here. Don't turn your washer and dryer or dishwasher on and go to bed or leave to go to work in the morning. Don't walk away from the stove. Okay, candles, incense, whatever you do, don't walk away. Be mindful of where you're at all times. The borough has inspectors and they have a permitting system. Don't allow any handyman to do any work in your house. That's what happened over on Chandler Drive. They had a handyman guy come in and they burnt the roof off the place. So make sure if you do get a contractor, they get permits and they have insurance. Inspections are ongoing. Some are still pending. Bay Nails, Chili, Save-A-Lot, Green Estates, 4 West Brookhaven Road, the dentist office over there, Watercrock, the new bagel place behind Watercrock, and batteries and more. That's going to be going at 4511 Edgemont. Coco's is, they have some stuff they have to fix on their, I guess, architectural drawings. And on a good note, I finished all my con eds and turned them in to be relicensed for another 3 years as the borough inspector for the fire inspector's license. Thank you, Mr. Heller. Everybody have a nice evening. That's the end of my report.
Mr. Gavin, you have anything? I think Mr. Gavin left us.
No, he's still here.
Oh, I can't see everyone on my screen. I apologize.
I'm back. Sorry about that. I had a little, thank you, Mr. President. I just want to wish you all a happy and healthy new year. I hope everybody's year is better than 2021's, but I have nothing to report though, sir. Thank you.
It will be. Oh, let me add something. I received 3 questions, not for Mr. Gavin, for everyone. I received 3 questions, one yesterday, a couple today, about the gun store. Forgive me, I forget the name of the address, but they're next to Parks Insurance. A few people thought that was a brand new gun store. That gun store went into business in that location in July of 2014. They held a grand opening yesterday. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Vasquez knows a little more about it than me. I believe that they bought or are renting additional space right next to the existing store, and they've changed their business to where they now have an inventory where you may walk in. I believe previously they were by appointments. So no, it's not a new gun store. It was approved and they went into business in July of 2014. So just to let everyone know. That's all I have. Any questions about that? All right, I'm sure I'll get more online or in the future.
Can I just say real quick, I forgot
Surely.
to mention in my report that we do have a shred and electronics event on April 9th of 2022. And I'll remind everyone each meeting.
Great.
April 9th, Saturday.
Fantastic. That brings us to the second public discussion session. Is there anyone that would like to speak for public discussion? If so, please unmute yourself, state your name and address.
Hi there. Tom Dykes, 305 West Brookhaven Road.
Evening, Tom.
Hey there. Happy New Year, everyone. Hope everyone's had a good holiday season. Just a quick thing, Sherry and Donna missed the rec board meeting will be January 27th. I guess we'll have to talk about how to do that for a Zoom meeting at this point. So I'll have to talk with Donna and Sherry about getting that lined up. Our focus on the new programs for 2022 with a focus at the beginning of the year on Easter. So scary that we're talking about Easter already, but that's the next event coming up. And also, Donna, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Can we pull out the existing ordinance on the rec board to go through and redefine that so we don't have issues like we had in the last couple of years with the rec board?
Sure.
There's a couple things we need to readdress on that, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to be there with you when you discuss that one.
All righty.
Okay. And I think that's everything right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Is there anyone else for public discussion? If so, unmute yourself and state your name and address, please. Public discussion going once, going twice. The second public discussion session is closed. Does anyone else from council or the officials have anything else to add? I guess that's a no. Remember, council and Chief Vice, stick around and sign back into the other Zoom link for our executive session. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.